Hey, what's up guys? So I actually got kind of a different video for you guys. This one's not going to be a base building video. It's going to be a tips and tricks video. It's going to be on how to prevent yourself from being online raided as easily. I know a lot of people, whenever they do get online raided by 4 or 5 people and they're solo, they tend to lose the raid. But that mainly comes down to just having a bad base design to defend an online raid. And not everybody gets online rated, but if you're playing on a higher population server, it happens a lot more than you may think. And so I'm just going to give you guys some basic tips and show you guys how to do like peek downs, trap placement, and simple things like bedrooms. So I'm just going to start off by building a regular 2x2 and show you how to make a peek down off of it. This can pretty much be applied to any base. So I'm just going to do that for you guys real quick. So guys, for this base design, I'm just going to lay you guys out a simple peek down design. They're really not too hard to make. It really depends on what kind of base you're making. With this 2x2 honeycomb base, it's again guys, it's really variable on what kind of base you want to make. You can do this with circle bases. You can do this with any type of base. And if you expect to get online rated, it's a very, very helpful thing. And I'll show you guys why that is in a minute and how they help you, because some people don't know how to use them and they just kind of put them in their base and think it's going to prevent people from getting in. So sometimes they can be a little bit tricky. There's nothing wrong with that. Just, you know, place your foundations or place the triangles pretty much just however it works for you, to be honest. You don't have to place them in any certain way. But again, it works best if you do it with above the square foundations to start, because what that does is if I take this little peek down here, if I'm getting online rated from this side and the raiders decide to blow in here, 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 and here with 4 rockets, I have a perfect view of the breach from here. It's very hard to peek this angle from the outside, and if I need to, I can come to the side, peek here, come to the other side, peek the other side. It really does vary greatly how effective these are, depending on where you get rated from. If they come in the 3rd floor, obviously the peek downs are not going to do quite as much as if they didn't blow into the 3rd floor. But regardless, it's a pretty helpful thing to have these peek downs, no matter what kind of base you have. And as long as your base is 3 stories, no matter how big it is, if you are online enough to not have to worry as much about offline raids, think about investing in some peek downs. Again, they do actually make your base a little bit weaker from an offline raid, obviously, because you're not going to be filling in these gaps. But if you are preparing for an online raid, again, just consider these at least. So my next tip I have is trap placement, and I see this a lot with auto turrets. And what people do is they'll just kind of put them wherever they fit, and they just kind of sit there, and they're very easy to get baited out. So in this base, I'm gonna put these auto turrets on the outside ring. Again, this is a very online raid proof base. So I'm just going to place these around, and I'm placing them in this certain spot, and I'll explain to you guys in a second. I accidentally deleted that foundation. I'll explain that to you guys in just a second. But the reason that trap placement is so important is because if you're getting online rated, it can be the difference between somebody falling down into an auto turret and losing all their rockets. And if you're getting offline rated, it can be the difference between maybe a counter raider getting there in time, or them just getting so frustrated with the base that they give up. So these auto turrets are in a very specific place for a reason, and the reason that they're in these corners and not quite all the way in the corner is because if you look at this angle, you're pretty much protecting like barely anything. So it would not be hard at all to bait this turret from anywhere in the base. But whenever they're right here, they're covered by 2 of their other turrets. So if somebody does try to bait this turret, they're gonna, if they try to stand behind this wall or you know, anywhere in your base, there's going to be another turret for them to deal with, and they might have to just resort to dying a bunch if it's an offline raid, or having to blow it up if it's an online raid, which takes 4 rockets or an instant rocket, but not everybody takes incendiary rockets. So as you can see, they're all in the same place. Symmetry is pretty important in a lot of bases because it makes it a lot harder to find a quick and easy way to raid the base, so to speak. And having these turrets here is just kind of a quick fix that you can have. I know a lot of people just place them in the corner, and just take a second or two to compare it to some other spots in your base and see if there's any other better spots for you to put your turrets in. Same thing goes for shotgun traps. You don't want a shotgun trap just sitting here in the middle of the floor, because somebody blows in here, they're just going to look right at your shotgun trap from this far away. They're going to be able to bait it or shoot it. So a better place for a shotgun trap is pretty common, is just right above the door. Even though that is, well, that was actually a bad one. Just try to hide them in places where it's a lot harder to bait them. Right beside a door is a pretty good spot. Make sure you angle it towards the door a little bit so it will splash them if they try to bait it from this side. Hide them under foundations if you have a drop down. If you have a half wall like this, and you have some sort of drop down mechanic here in your base with a doorway here, you can have some boxes down there, as well as a shotgun trap or 2 or more, or just a bunch of shotgun traps. So when they do drop down, they really can't do anything without blowing up the floor above them, or just baiting the shotgun traps out. And again, it's very hard to bait these 3 shotgun traps out from above. So my last tip is actually going to be bedrooms in a base. I'm not going to exactly design this out because, actually, you know what, I'll design it out real quick for you guys, just give you guys kind of a basic understanding of what I mean. So if I have my loot rooms, I can't even spawn that in, that's annoying. If I have my loot rooms at the bottom and second floor of my base, and I have a base such as this, maybe I have a shooting floor on top, people are not going to tend to blow into the 3rd floor, just unless it's pretty much like a big clan like raid, like an 8-on-8 raid or like a 15-on-8 raid. People tend to blow in the bottom just to get straight to the loot as fast as they can, or they go straight through the top down the middle. So what I like to do is I like to go, if I have a peek down floor like this, I like to do my bedrooms on the peek down floor. Now some people may say, well, this would be kind of weak to put your bedrooms here because it would be cheapest to blow in here. And I agree with you there. It is by far the cheapest place to blow into. So just sheet metal it. And I like to spread my bedrooms out. It's very important that you spread them out, because if you have a couple people online, or even if it's just you, it really does help to be able to have multiple people spawn at different spots. If you have sections doored off and they've only blown into one bedroom, then there's a chance that maybe a teammate can go into another bedroom. So I like to do my bedrooms in corners, keep them as far away as each other as possible. So if you have, say, 4 people, you do 4 beds, and you can have a box by each of them, or a locker, or a drop box, or whatever you want. Just a box and a bed. Maybe keep a gear set in here would be the #1 thing to do, and don't delete the floor on your way over. And basically what this allows you to do is, if you're getting raided and they're blowing into the bottom, you can spawn on your bed, grab a gear set, and maybe surprise them from above, come down through the peek downs, or even just down through your ladder hatch. So my #1 tip with bedrooms, again, is to split them apart. Make sure you can't get like all 4 of your bedrooms with rockets. Like if you have all your beds in this 2x2 spot, one rocket and all your beds are gone, and you've lost complete control of the raid. So have a bedroom on your top floor or near your top floor with a couple boxes, and then obviously have some sleeping bags at the bottom of your base, or even more beds if you have a lot of materials or less people, because beds do take up quite a bit of space. Have some sleeping bags on the bottom. near some gear that would be a little bit harder to rocket into, just to prevent people from only having one spawn point. Having one spawn point is a huge mistake in an offline raid, or an online raid, excuse me. Because once they get your bags, you have no way to get back into the base. You have no way to get any gear unless you have some friendly neighbors or something. And there's really just no way to defend after that. At that point, you're just relying on them running out of rockets or dying to traps repeatedly. So guys, that's about it for this video. If you guys have any suggestions, things I missed, or video ideas for the future, be sure to leave them down in the comments below. I try to read all the comments. I don't get a lot, so it's not too difficult for me to read all the comments. But leave some suggestions down in the comments below, and I will be sure to get back to you on them, and might implement them into a video if I see fit. My next video, however, is going to be a offline raid defense in general video. Things you can do to make your base more frustrating to raid. Just in general, it's not going to be a base design, but it's going to be a general how to make your base more frustrating to offline raid. And so yeah, if you guys are interested in that content, be sure to leave a like, subscribe, and comment, and I'll see you guys in the next one.